went in to see. Okay.
Do what?
We're live.
Damn. All right.
It's a good looking picture right there. Ah, I think I broke my arm. What if I said that? And we are live.
Oh, yeah?
Kick back, girls. I think I broke my arm. I don't know if I told y'all that, but I feel like I broke it.
Why you do that?
I don't know when I broke it.
You shouldn't do that.
But it's definitely it's 60 to 100% broken.
That's bad. That's a lot of percent.
Ain't it though?
Don't like hurt.
Oh yeah, there's some pain associated with this.
Is it when you ran into that mirror last night?
I went to the mirror.
Oh, yeah, you did. Chris Trump.
Wow!
Fucking mirror all the
Is
way
that
up.
what it was?
Yeah.
Damn, that's what happened. I knew. Yeah, my arm was hurting me. I was like, yo, why does my arm hurt?
Yo, you walked right into the fucking side there.
I do remember that.
I mean,
Yeah,
tore
I
that
do
shit
remember
all
that.
the way
Joe
up.
was like bent.
Joe was like this. Yo, that's why your arm hurt.
That really might be it, yeah. I was like, why does my
Oh
arm
my
hurt?
god, that's
You know, like,
hilarious.
Just so fucking bad.
We both looked over like Chris's mirror.
Yo, it's not supposed to look like that. Chris is like, yo! Son, why you do that to my shit?
God damn it. I'm always breaking my arm.
Oh, that was funny.
Y'all missing somebody.
Oh yeah, she's out of town.
Oh, okay. I mean, somebody else, ain't you?
She's not making it. Kick back, guys. So we're sharing the show as we always ask you guys. Please feel free.
Share.
Please share.
Yeah.
Share to group. I like this share to group function.
Me too. You can
Just makes it so
tag
much
a whole
easier.
bunch of them.
Y'all, yeah, I'm already through that, but I know y'all in way more groups than I am.
Yeah, I'm on my backup page. I just put this in the Chocolate Show group. That's so funny. I don't think nobody's even in that group no more. Somebody be like, "Hey, Mr. Chocolate Show."
Well, you just shouted them out, so there you
Oh,
go.
well, true. Shit, shout out KJ World. That group be popping.
Yeah.
All the kickbacker groups.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be starting the show in about 2 minutes. What up, Ron? See you Friday.
Oh yeah, you going to
We
town.
gonna be
You
in
going home.
town.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm. I'll be moving.
Yes,
Yeah.
you will. Yes, you will. Yeah, let's rap about that.
I mean, yeah. Everything's being delivered to the house, so there's nothing really needs to be done.
Oh, you don't need any help?
Nah.
Oh, great.
Yes.
That's
When
awesome.
you a producer
I'll
behind the number one show on Facebook, you don't
No one
you don't move
live.
stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh yeah.
I'm
No one show exactly.
He tripping like I'm still not gonna be there though. Like I'm still gonna be there. Like
Somebody got to sit on the sofa when it's just delivered. Who's gonna sit on the sofa?
I got the bed, the sofa,
Yeah.
chairs.
Yeah,
I already got kitchen stuff. They come and they set it up, so I don't have to put nothing together. So the furniture store's coming.
That's what's
That's
up.
what's up.
Yeah.
So we are live from Atlanta, and I don't want that. Yeah, I don't like that. Kickback TV live from Atlanta, and you'll be able to listen to the podcast. So what we're doing now on Facebook Live, you'll be able to listen to. So you'll be able to listen in the car, your morning commute, especially if you're in Atlanta. Just go to iTunes, download your favorite episode, tune in. This should be our first podcast. So shout out to everybody listening via iTunes and all the other streaming sites. Welcome to Kickback TV Live from Atlanta. We've been doing this show for different iterations of this show for 6 years. 7 years, I think. 7 years. And we've been doing Kickback the last year and a half or so. So we talk about the best in world news, sports, politics, and pop culture. Having said all that, y'all ready?
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, So Mellow, also known as Melanie Dion of House Forehand, also known as the Queen of Creeps, the Breaker of Men, the Conscious Creep.
All right.
What's up, y'all, man? It's JB Frank, that gangster geek representing those nerds with attitude. Happy Sunday, everybody.
The learner hippie otaku, Pandora Alexis is out of town, but she's here in spirit. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, of course, we got super producer Gilman in the building.
Back in the building.
Say what's up, Gilman. So, I want to send a special what's up, hello, and to all my Wakandans out there. Black Panther had another very impressive weekend. It's on a 10-day tear. At this point, it's already the 5th most, I think, successful Marvel movie ever. It's projected to become the third most successful Marvel movie in totality sometime next week. And it's only been out for 10 days. So we got movies that have been out for years that haven't equaled Black Panther's numbers. In fact, if they have another historic weekend, it's projected that it'll be the 3rd or 4th largest grossing movie ever based on the trajectory that it is now. So we're looking at Black Panther not being just the greatest comic book movie sold ever, but only star.
We went to the drive-in yesterday and watched the Joan twice in a row. It was a blast, dude. I mean, just incredible film, incredible rhyme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. The movie, it's so much more than a movie. It's an experience. I know we did a whole special on it last week. We were dressing our African garb and everything. But I still want to say it's a great movie. The soundtrack is great, but it's a hell of an experience to watch that movie, watching it with the kids, or going to a theater, seeing everybody's dressed in their garb, or even at the
that was
at
the most
drive-in.
packed I've ever seen a Starlight Drive-in. Like, we got there a little late, so we're way in the back. We still see the screen and everything. I've been there several times.
Yeah, I was like, where y'all at? And we just went and popped. Yeah. I shouldn't have said that on internet. What I meant to say was we bought tickets for Black Panther and then went and actually saw Black Panther. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
great movie, great experience. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It's going to continue to be the hot topic as long as it's hot to us and as long as it's hot to y'all. And the numbers show that it still is.
$700 million worldwide in 10 days.
Yeah, that's not including APAC, which is China and Japan, as we know, 2 of the biggest global markets.
Especially for those Marvel movies. One time for Black Panther, guys. One time for Black Panther. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. If you've seen it once, go see it twice. And moving on, what else we got going on in the world today?
What the fuck story of the day? It's the police officer that was killed in Maryland, and the backstory that followed after this story broke.
Yeah, he was killed in PG County, Maryland, an area that's kind of near and dear to us. Like, that's where I grew up. You know what I'm saying?
We'll see y'all in PG County next week. Continue, Jimmy.
Yeah, the fun part about this was that Fox News put it out like, this cop, is a Marine veteran and this, that, and the third, awarded for this and awarded for that. And he's coming to, resolve this domestic disturbance. That's the way they paint it. That's literally what Fox News said, right? And then somehow he got into a disagreement, with the other guy, and the guy shot him 5 times. Like, that's what Fox News said. But then there's a secondary article that tells the real story, right?
Yeah, so apparently this police officer was off duty, and he was getting off booty. He was in there with the gentleman's wife, living trife. I might rhyme the rest of the show.
Oh my God! No,
I don't know.
Please, no, you are not Dr. Seuss.
I think I should do it. It's nothing to it.
Shit. God.
So
I'm sorry. I'm still over here.
No. Thank you.
I wish all y'all on iTunes, I wish I could see my face. But however, what's going on? Well, what I will say is, I don't want to make light of the situation. So let me reel it back in. But it looks like the police officer that was killed was having sex with this man's wife. He came home, caught him, and things went left, of course. And then he was actually gunned down by the police later that day. And I don't know, man. That's tricky. I mean, that's a sticky situation. It technically, a cop was killed, but it wasn't a cop killing.
Exactly.
If you kind of get what I'm saying.
That's more of a crime of passion.
Yeah.
Like, you come home and see your wife having an affair.
That's lights out.
I'm just saying, yeah.
That's lights out.
That's gonna be tough.
Somebody's good.
Oh, Ron said he went to Monifum.
Damn.
So I guess one of the guys, either the officer or the victim or the assailant or whatever, were members of JB's family church.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Shout out to our field correspondents. They're always coming in with the information you can't get anywhere else. Very, very unfortunate. Positive energy to the families that were involved and affected. And
LeBron James speaking out about yes. 45.
Yeah.
And
didn't I give him a nickname the other day? What I call him? I call him something crazy. We give him one. I'll think of it.
Yeah, and just speaking out about how terrible of a representative he is for the United States and how poor his leadership is and things of that nature and stuff like that. So Laura goes on to go on this rant, first saying that she's going on a jump doc alert. What did she call it? Jump doc.
Supposed to be
dumb jock. It's a jump doc alert. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Which supposed
I
to
thought
be
it was
dumb
Young Jock from Love and Hip Hop. I was so confused.
But basically saying that his statement was like incoherent and it was unintelligible and he sounded stupid. And first of all, Laura, can we address the jump doc alert? Because you started off wrong.
Right.
Second of all, LeBron is by far. She said he tried to graduate from high school early.
Right.
Like
She
just
just
saying
said a
all
bunch of
kinds of dumb
uninformed
shit. Like, yeah. But in any case, so let's talk about the things that LeBron has done. That no, LeBron can't just shut up and dribble, because that's basically what she wanted him to do, was just shut up and dribble.
And that's a quote. That's what she said.
Yeah.
He needs to just shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble.
And that's that dismissive thing that
Yep.
palm-complected people,
Colonizers
do to marginalize African-American celebrities, be they're entertainers or athletes, because they're the ones who have the voice for us.
And which is ridiculous, because it's not like Fox doesn't have all kinds of athletes and actors and other people who are not politicians speaking on issues all the time on their show.
Our president ain't a politician. He was a reality TV show star. He ain't even a politician.
So
who office is your home?
anytime it's one of us, so they get so upset. Why does black people speaking out upset you so much, Laura Ingram?
Yeah, Laura Ingram, everything you said was
Wrong.
factually incorrect, wrong, dumb. But you do want some jump doc. That's probably what you need. For now, I'm calling it. Let's give you this jump doc, girl. Give you this jump doc. So
Are you done? Are you
Are you
done?
done?
Are you done?
You can't talk. You cannot talk, Laura Ingram.
No.
I will feed you to Melanie. She's a vegetarian, I think.
Yeah. Really, really stupid.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
And LeBron has done so much. I think we found an article that said, what if he did only shut up and dribble? How much would we be missing? What is it, 800 kids he's sending to college?
Yeah.
And their parents.
He's starting a school.
The school he started in
Akron.
Akron. Like, he's starting a goddamn
The
school.
parents he sent back to school.
The parents he sent back to school. The most touching thing he's done, probably not the most impressive because he's done so many great things, but one that really hits home with me. You know, all of his best buddies, I think there's 4
Thank
of
you
them.
for pointing
When
this
he
out.
graduated from
I
high
was.
school, of course, he went to the NBA. He paid for all of them to go to college and get degrees. Once they got the degrees, they take over his business. His business, the business of LeBron James, is run by his childhood friends who he paid for their college degrees.
Goddamn.
So, like, and Phil Jackson called them his posse. Like, what the fuck do you mean my posse? Like, these are my business partners. When my first 4 years in the league, they was in college. Now that they got the degrees, they run my empire. My damn near $1 billion empire is ran by some 32-year-old black men that I've known since I was in fucking,
Like the 5.
like the five. Like us.
It's a 5.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely respect LeBron
That,
for that.
I did not know that.
That's
Yeah.
gangster, yeah.
That's crazy.
18, you get your first deal, probably worth $4 or $5 million. You send all your niggas to college, pay their way so they can get them degrees, come home and run your business.
Yeah.
Everybody eats, B. Everybody eats.
That's crazy.
And just the example of that.
Yeah.
And has anybody ever heard of LeBron getting drunk at a fight in a
No.
party?
Never. Never.
Was he cheating on his
Never.
wife?
No.
Nope.
Did
If he has, we don't know about
Yeah,
it.
did he shoot anybody?
That part.
Has he grabbed anybody in the pussy?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so LeBron hasn't done any of those things.
No.
But we want him to shut up, and you guys elect Donald Trump, a celebrity who was not a politician.
LeBron's more qualified than the president.
Right.
And his 4 boys he sent to college damn sure are.
Exactly.
Because they running $1 billion empire. Trump, who?
Yeah, shout out to Maverick Carter, who's the head of the crew as far as on the business side. And he's like managing Draymond Green. Like, they're building an empire.
Forget about it.
They're building an empire. So Laura Ingram, you get the Donald Trump Shut Up Stupid Award. So shut up, stupid.
Shut up.
Kayate Bendejo, Femme de Bouche, Ponta. That was French and Spanish.
Stupid.
Fuck up, biatch. All right, our Grind and Shine Award goes to the leader of the Beige Boys, the homie Drizzy Drake, and his new video, God's Plan. For those who don't know the premise, you know Drake is big business. He's probably the biggest artist in the world. So he was given $1 million budget for the video. And instead of renting out these elaborate places and getting these fancy vehicles and all of this crap, hammer models,
Video girls.
he gave away all of the money to people impoverished in Miami, Florida. He walked into a big grocery store to start and says, "Get whatever you want. It's all on me," and buys everybody's groceries. Then he goes to a couple with their 2 kids kind of sitting down, and he walks up and sits beside him and doesn't say anything. So they're like, because they think they're being interviewed for something. And they looking like, it's Drake. and so they're asking him questions like, how are things financially? If you had $10,000, what would you do with it? And then he just starts giving them money. He went to one mother and son and took out a stack this big. I don't know how much money this is, but this is like probably more than $20 or something. This is a lot of money.
Of 5, 10s, 20s?
Of 20s, of hundreds, I think. I think it was hundreds.
Hundreds?
He gave away $1 million.
That's about $100,000 right there.
So he gives it to them. The mother immediately starts crying. The son immediately starts crying. And I'm like, dog, these aren't actors, dog.
No.
Like Drake was trying to hug him. He was like, he just couldn't get himself together, dog. That joke, it'll mess with your attitudes, yo. It'll mess with your attitudes. And then this one girl he paid for her entire school, college tuition, $50,000 to go through college. He went to another school and donated $1,000 so they can get for an after school program that focus around the arts. It's just like, for real, Drake? You trying to get all my money. You want me to go out and buy all your CDs and give you all this money back? That's what you trying to do?
Yeah, I was talking shit about him a little week ago.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, keep it 100.
Hey, that's Drake the writer.
Yeah,
His skills, but Drake the man, I mean, that's the most philanthropic thing I've seen one of the young rappers do ever. I mean, Jay-Z and some of the older cats do a whole lot. But Drake, I think Drake just turned 30 or something, or maybe if he's 30. And that to think, I'm going to get this whole $1 million away. What the hell got to be going on with you to make you go, I got a great idea.
What goes on is he's got 1,000 times more of that, but he doesn't need that money.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
That was nothing.
This was the money to shoot a video. Too.
Right.
This wasn't his money.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
he playing with house money at that
right.
point.
Not taking anything away from him.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And I
not.
also want
Anything away from him.
I want to say this because
That's just how much
this,
of a boss.
But then you got Jay-Z spending $90,000 at the bar on Ace of Spades champagne.
Yeah, but he didn't tip the young lady $11,000.
11 G's though.
He gave her $11,000 tip.
Well, it was 20% gratuity.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
That's crazy though.
Yes.
But when you
She was happy.
Derek.
people were knocking Drake, saying that he shouldn't have recorded it and made a video out of it,
What?
like he did it just for attention.
People always say that.
Stop. Just stop.
It's always somebody hating on somebody.
stop.
Right,
man.
I agree, and I'll say this. Let's say he did do it for attention. You think
So
those
the fuck
families
what?
care?
Right.
So
He done
the
paid
fuck
bills,
what?
sent people to college. He
Yeah,
bought
bought
2 people
food.
cars. He literally went to different neighborhoods and gave people cars. Like it was $1 million. You can imagine how much shit he had to do to spend it all.
Right.
And I mean, so what? I don't think he did it for attention, personally.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I mean, and do you know how good it feels to give like that? I mean, not that I've ever been able to give on that grand of a scale, but like it feels good to give. Like
It does.
who cares if he did it for attention? Like shit, it's good to give.
Yeah, probably in his mind, maybe one of his greatest videos. You know what I'm saying?
And on top of that, the video was amazing because of that.
Yeah.
You got real people, real expressions, real joy. You see the pain in their face, and then you see the joy after he surprises them with the money.
The song is
I mean,
called God's Plan.
and the song is called God's Plan.
Like,
You know what I'm saying? So it's
how can you
like,
hate on
Enough
something?
said.
Right.
Enough said.
so shout out to Drake, man. Drake, you get our Baloo Senior High School Grind and Shine Award. You the man. I love it. I love it. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, our question of the day is, you know, you got to deal with the guns in the community, the gun control. These young white terrorists that are shooting up our schools, and how we deal with that going forward, and some of the things that your president said about how we should deal with those issues, and the Florida shooting. You got to talk in detail about that. We talked about some of the. It's been a few cop shootings as well. We have a problem. We'll get into that, of course, after the break. But I definitely wanted to talk. We wanted to talk to you guys and get your thoughts on gun control and what are some of the solutions. Because what our president said about giving teachers guns,
Not a good
that
idea.
ain't a good idea. We will tell you why it's not a good idea. But I want to know what some of you guys' thoughts are. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, you can't give us your thoughts, of course. But we're on Facebook Live. That's how we do the show every Sunday at 7. You can always tune in there. And you can send us messages and make comments on our iTunes page, our podcast page. So feel free to leave your comments there, and we'll definitely get back to you. Surprisingly, it's break time.
Already?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
But what I do want to do really quickly is I want to get you guys' thoughts on the Monique news cycle. For those that don't know, Monique was on the Breakfast Club this week, and she was defending her comments about boycotting Netflix. She said that Netflix, when they were doing the negotiations, like they were disconnected on the phone and they didn't call it back for like a week, and there was a whole bunch of unprofessional things that Netflix did to them that led up to them, quote unquote, lowballing her, which led up to her having the feelings she had. I understood some of it, but Charlamagne made good points because he spoke about how Kevin Hart and Dave Chappelle and Amy Schumer were selling out stadiums, and Monique was pretty much bragging about having a very good show with this comedy club. And he was like, it's just different. You're not doing the kind of numbers that were warranting the kind of pay. And she's saying, but I have a resume. And my resume is immaculate. And he's saying, well, your resume isn't translating into butts and seats or subscriptions, and that's where they're going from. And she was kind of like, well, would you say that to a man? Would you say that to a white person? And she was like playing the race card and the gender card. I hate to say it that way, but I just couldn't follow her completely. The only thing she said that really stuck out to me was the $500,000 Netflix offered her. Under that deal, she couldn't do any of that material for 2 years. She couldn't tour for 2 years. And that $500,000 was less than what she would have made had she just went on tour. So and I was like, well, I understand that. I understand her not doing it for that reason, but I don't understand why she wanted a boycott of Netflix for that. I didn't see anything that was boycott worthy. But I'm quick to boycott some shit. I'm with the people. But I just didn't see anything that warranted a boycott.
I think most people would agree with you too, and that's why everybody was calling bullshit on her argument. Like, it's not like it's a whole bunch of black women speaking out for Monique, because I know I'm definitely not agreeing with her right now. And most of the black women I know, matter of fact, I can't think of a single person that I know, like, that in my personal life, even that I directly see on my Facebook timeline, that's actually agreeing with her. Like,
Yeah.
nobody's checking for her.
And allow me to say this, like, in terms of comedy, in particular black comedy, like, we are all really, really into black comedy. Like, we've seen a lot of live comedy shows, you know what I'm saying? So we check for good black comedians.
She's not one of them.
I'm not checking for
I've
Monique.
never been checking for Monique.
Never.
That's
Never.
what, like, so, like, I'm speaking as, like, somebody who is into black comedy, and I'm still not checking for her. So, like, none of this makes any sense.
It's a good chance I wouldn't have even watched it.
Right.
And a lot of people have that exact same feeling.
Right.
I'm just not a fan. I didn't watch the Parkers. There was no part of Monique's career that I was interested in.
Me.
Just
She had some
personally.
funny spots in some movies she was in, but not checking.
In terms of comic relief in movies, yes, but that does not translate
Not
to
to a big check for it.
90-minute
No, sir.
show.
No, sir. Not even
Like,
close.
Come on, like,
One
no,
Dave Chappelle
absolutely
type
not.
No,
No.
no. Just no. Just
No.
stop. Break time.
Moving
right along.
I will say this, Monique. Do your tours, do your special. We'll put it on Facebook Live. You know, we got you. Let's do what you got to do. Don't let it stop you. That's my point. Regardless of what we think, what we feel, what Netflix said, I'll do this. Sister, don't let it stop you. Figure out a way. I didn't get my first record deal, or my second, or my third, or my 10th. I got you. Don't let it stop you. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I just do it that way. I started a record label and signed myself and put my own shit out.
I think Monique needs to take a real hard look in the mirror though, and understand that she is her own. She's in the way of her own success. Cause like every time she opens her mouth, people seem to turn against her at this point in time. Like nobody's hearing her. She needs to like kind of grovel a little bit and eat some humble pie. Cause nobody's really checking for her. So you need to get back to work, hit the ground. You know, put foot to pavement and get back to it. Like, earn that spot on Netflix. Earn that check, because you're not just about to get a check out of nowhere.
And the more she bitches
Especially
them
out
out,
of
the
Netflix.
more her stock
Yeah,
goes
nobody's
down.
gonna.
Yeah, and she dogged Charlamagne. She said she met Charlamagne. He was so sweet and yes ma'am, no ma'am. Held the elevator for her, and she said to him, "Your mother raised you the right way. Like you are a true Southern gentleman. Like damn boy, proud of you." And then she was on the show saying she was made to give her donkey of the day, and she was saying like you don't love black women because you're trying to turn people against us. And he was like, "You just said
Right.
5 minutes ago how well my mother raised me, and now you saying I don't love black women. Like what the hell?"
She has some issues, man.
She was hurt. She thought that everybody was going to come to her side, or come to her aid. And I think that if she had said somebody touched her, or somebody violated her, I think we would have all done that. But she was trying to use kind of the Me Too movement involved in this. And Charlamagne was like, those two different things. She was comparing people that she's done movies with. What's the guy that did Empire TV show?
Terrence Howard.
Nah, the
Lee Daniels.
Because he said a lot of disparaging things about Monique. And she was comparing him to Harvey Weinstein. And Charlamagne was like, well, he didn't touch you. For him to say he doesn't like you isn't as bad as somebody sexually harassing you. Those are two different things.
Completely different things.
Angela Yee mentioned some people she knew that they said they had issues with Monique's attitude. And it's a well-known industry thing. I don't know if it's because she's secretly pro-black, because I didn't even know she was pro-black, or what the hell the problem is. But a lot of people she's rubbed the wrong way.
So everybody can't be wrong.
It's starting to look that way.
Everybody can't be wrong.
It's starting to look
There
that
it
way. So I didn't give you the Shut Up Stupid Award, Monique, because I know you don't like getting awards. But I did want to. I did. I did just want to, just kind of
Wow.
address the story.
No, I think we might have did we give her one?
We might have given one
Did we give it to
before.
her?
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
Give one of these.
I was like, because this ain't our first time talking about her.
Yeah.
That's
I
funny.
feel like she might have got it.
She
might have.
sounded kind of stupid right
She
now.
did.
Yeah, y'all can check out the interview on Breakfast Club. Come up with your own ideas and thoughts, but you'll agree. We're going to take our quick break. We're at halftime. For those that are tuned in on iTunes, we will be back at the 31-minute mark. For those of you on Facebook, give me enough time to walk downstairs, walk back up. We'll be back. Play amongst yourselves. Be nice. Talk in the comments and stuff.
And when we come back, share it. Share it again.
Share it with me. Give me that jump dot.
I actually love it when white people sound stupid though. It just,
Maybe this one.
I know, it just kind of makes me snicker, except for when it's actually effective. Then I
One time,
guess.
yeah, it bothers me with the president.
Not that part.
You can't be smart.
Nah, that doesn't make me snicker. That makes me afraid. The president can't be stupid.
You better be very afraid of this.
Sarah Palin can be stupid. You know, but not the president. Yeah, let's do it.
God's plan. God's plan. God's plan. God's plan.
Jump doctor.
Hey, nigga.
Oh, hey, look at that. 31. Perfect timing.
Bam. Yep. We're back.
Indeed.
Share.
Yeah, share the post. Part 2. Bless you.
Thank you.
What's up, Bama? I see you finally tuned in.
Give me another 20 seconds while y'all share.
Okay.
All right, we're just coming back from break. We'll be starting up in about 30 seconds. If you feel so kind, share the show. Nikki said, bless you.
Thank you.
This is an interactive show. You sneeze and the audience say bless you. It's an interactive ass show. Yeah. All right, y'all. We gotta get into a serious topic. So while we're waiting for JB to get back, I gotta get all my goofiness out so we can get serious. So let me let's see. Knock knock. I got knock knock joke. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Tuna.
Tuna who?
You can tune a piano, but you cannot tune a fish.
Mm.
No. I thought that no.
Where are you, Gelman?
With the
You
sound
have not been
effects.
helping
I thought
me.
we were on break.
What?
What?
That was to yourself.
It was.
I thought we was on break. All right, y'all. So we're back. Welcome back to the second half of Kickback TV Live from Atlanta. I'm New the Mayor, the Righteous Ratchet. If you throw it, I'll catch it. If you got it, I'll match it. I'm right back at it. Shout Lynn.
Fantastic.
You made it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl So Mellow, also known as Melanie Dion of House Forehand, the Queen of Creeps, the Breaker of Men, also known as the Conscious Creep. Thank you.
What it do? What it do? JB Frank. I'm that
No,
gangster
no,
kid.
no.
Representing nerds with attitude. I guess I'm not.
like, damn. No.
No!
No.
Y'all couldn't see what's happening on camera. And yeah, we are the #1 show on Facebook Live, but we're also the most ghetto show on Facebook Live. So, dealing with gun control. Based on what's happened the last 10 years, especially what happened in Florida recently, I think we do need to kind of talk about that. And what's scaring me the most or alarming me the most isn't even the damn shootings. It's their solutions to the shootings that I'm like, oh, we in trouble. Y'all president, the pussy grabber, says that he thinks we should arm teachers. We should give teachers guns.
Because, that's a good solution.
And ironically, a teacher shot himself last week, or this week in the leg. For you to say, I know how to stop these mass shootings, let's give the teachers guns. I don't know if I can properly articulate how ignorant of an idea that is. These are teachers. These are not police officers. These are not military personnel. These are teachers. And teachers seem to be, I don't want to make a generalization, but I feel like they're nurturers. I feel like they on the violent side, they're probably not quite there, in my opinion. On the fighting, and all of that, I just don't quite see them.
Yeah, they ain't.
I can't imagine my 4th grade teacher, Miss Chase, or my 6th grade teacher,
Being
Miss
strapped.
Arnold,
being strapped.
being
Sit
strapped,
your ass
busting
down.
off. Yeah.
I'm talking, motherfucker.
Right, I just don't see that. My sweet 60-something-year-old 6th grade teacher shooting to protect me if somebody comes into the school. How about you lock the goddamn doors of the school? How about you have metal detectors? I went to Calvin Coolidge Senior High School. In my 10th grade year, we had a shootout in the hallway. Immediately following that, they changed and locked all the doors. There was security guard personnel at every single door. They had to let you out, and they had to let you in, and you had to go through the metal detector. The only way to get into the school was through the metal detector entrance. The entrance with the metal detectors. You could leave through any side door, but someone had to unlock it for you. And we had one shooting, not two. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Why this is so complicated. If a terrorist goes into the school with a gun and starts shooting, what's one teacher in one classroom going to do? Like, if I'm the teacher and I'm in the class and I'm doing a lesson and he comes and starts shooting.
But look where all these school shootings are taking place.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
not going to chain the doors and lock the doors in these little white suburban high schools.
That's exactly
the difference.
That's
the
exactly what I
difference.
was saying.
That's the difference.
When you get into a situation where you implement the real security measures that make sense,
then
then
white people aren't
all of
comfortable.
a sudden you're treating these white kids like
Mhm.
you've been treating black kids for 3 decades.
And they're not having that.
oh my God, now they're all the same. Now it's the same problem, which has always been a problem. You know what I'm saying? Giving teachers guns is the wrong answer for a lot of different reasons. I don't think Republicans can find the right answer for this. And I'm gonna stop with that and let
The right
Mel
answer for
comment.
this is going up against the NRA, which they will not do.
Exactly.
Too much money. That's the right answer.
Shit, immediately after the shooting, you heard Marco Rubio give his little speech, and they asked him
Well, they
directly
told him a new asshole.
if he would accept any more
Contributions.
thank you.
Campaign
Contributions
contributions from the
thank you,
NRA.
from the NRA, and he couldn't answer that question.
Nope. 'Cause
Like,
they say pad their pockets too
yeah,
long.
yes, the NRA pumps so much money into the Republican Party, it's ridiculous. But like, first of all, let's talk about giving teachers guns, like, which we already know is a terrible idea. Like, even let's remember Fort Hood. That's a military base, and they couldn't defend themselves. There was a shooting there. So, and then who's going to pay for the training for these teachers? Like, that the amount of training that it would take to arm teachers and like prepare them for an attack like that,
Well,
like,
first of all-
and for it to be like for it to be like instinctual for
You're talking about
I'm
changing
talking about
gun
a
laws.
counter-terrorism.
It's
You're
not
talking
gonna
about changing
It's a
gun laws
terrible
because
idea.
gun laws prohibit you from having a gun within
On
so
school
many
properties.
feet, but from a minor, let alone on school property. So now you're talking about changing federal regulations.
No,
on
what
state
they're
law.
what they're actually talking about is deputizing police.
But that's my point. If they do that, then they have to change the
personnel.
entire gun regulation, which means that everybody in America can have a gun on school property, which is going to be a whole
That's a whole-
other.
I'll
See,
take
Trump is not good enough of a politician because he's not a politician. He would know that.
I'll take it a step further. I had a teacher in my high school who was a Vietnam War veteran, and everybody knew that this motherfucker was suffering from PTSD. Now I'm bringing this up for another reason. Like, you just can't have guns willy-nilly around schools because there are a variety of people there with a variety of situations. Like, it's really that simple. Like, this is a mixed bag, and America has created this. Like, you can't bring guns into the sanctity of that environment that way. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bad idea. Herman Cain on his talk radio show said that we should have retired military personnel as armed guards in schools. Really? So you're gonna pluck out motherfuckers from Iraq and Afghanistan and put them in schools with all kinds of different kids and
So
all
who could be
kinds
the
of
first
different
kids to
people.
get
Yeah, and
And-
exactly, and that's just fuck Herman Cain. I mean, fuck
Like,
him.
It's all bad.
This is the real shit. When you start arming these white teachers, that's what I mean the other day. I'm taking my black kids out to damn school. You understand? Like, the police are shooting us. I can see it now. Because my kids gonna have some. Mustafa and Nala one get shot because the teacher thought that they was gonna do something. They thought something was gonna happen. They looked threatening. They looked menacing. Or Jeremy would have a point when a teacher pulls out a gun to break up a fight between two students.
I was thinking the same thing, Jeremy.
It's ridiculous, man. Like the concept is so ass backwards. And this is what I mean about Trump. Like, this is y'all president. Y'all voted for him. People told me to my face, I'd rather have him than Hillary. I still want to know why. Why the fuck? Like, Russia did a number. Facebook is. That's why we do the show on Facebook. Facebook took the minds and hearts and souls of everybody. Those Facebook ads that bashed Hillary made so many people hate Hillary so much.
That was the Russians.
Right, I will deal with Trump. Just
That's
don't
exactly
give me
what it
Hillary.
is.
And I'm like, God damn. Remember when I was talking about this is something we may never recover from? This idiot wants to give teachers guns.
This is bad, right?
So, like the practicality of it. So, you have teachers who are probably from age 24 to, let's call it 70. So, we're going to arm all the teachers. So, we're arming 70-year-old women with guns.
And we're gonna give them bonuses.
Give them that's what we're doing now. It's just, it is. How about, I got an idea. Because, and I don't want to be judgmental or stereotypical, but all of these school shootings have happened based on young white male teenagers. So being as though those are the only culprits who committed these crimes, I can only assume that that's probably the largest percentage of the base because it's 100% them based on the facts. Can we reach out to our white brothers and sisters and ask that you guys do a better job raising your kids? Can we do that? I should not be fearful that their children will be killed in schools because you guys do such a piss poor job. With raising your children. I want to raise the standard of, and if you're not sure how to do it, you know, turn on the Cosby Show or something. Goddamn it. I don't know what to tell you to do, but we need for Middle America and these white suburbs that I'm afraid to go into now to get a hold of your kids.
People discipline your children because that's part of the issue now.
Timeout does not work.
Whoop
your kids.
It goes beyond disciplining your children because they, you know, unfortunately, as an excuse, a lot of these kids' psychological profiles start to emerge as they try and justify what happened, right? So what you learn is there's a consistency in the story, and the consistency relates to neglect on the part of the parents. The parents literally aren't around to see what the kid is doing. The parents don't know that the kid has a trunk under his bed full of guns and shit that he's ready to drop in a duffel bag and take to school. That's literally what happens, you know?
Yeah,
like,
they're too fucked up on meth.
Whatever it is, it always leads back to neglect. Now, raise your kids better, yes, but let's start with watching our kids.
That's part of raising them. That is raising them.
Like,
Watching them is raising them.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna make it simple for y'all. I got kids. Like, the first step is to watch them. Look at what the fuck they're doing. Know what your kids are doing. That if you don't know what the first step is, that's what it is. It's really that simple, and it all proceeds from there. You know, like this is bad, yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to arm teachers because you can't control your children. Get your kids under control. And again, I don't want teachers armed because I don't know what they're going to do to black children. Like it's just a lot. It's a lot, and your president comes up with this as a solution, and that worries me. That has me on alert now because this is the leader of the free world, and that's the best suggestion he can come up with. And
He is not the smartest person in the world.
He's
so
not.
the bar is very low for, you know what I'm saying? Trump recommendations.
Unfortunately, that's what intelligent people say, but we have learned over the last, you know, the last 7 months or so that everybody, like, unfortunately, a lot of people are listening to him, and I don't want y'all to do that because, like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is next level stupid.
I'm gonna take it a little differently. Walk with me. Everybody take a walk with me. I'm looking at these school shootings by these white terrorists. Then I look at the shootings at the churches by these white terrorists, white male terrorists. And then I look at the movie theater shootings with these white male terrorists. And I actually was really worried for a minute, like, damn, are they gonna shoot up Black Panther? I really thought that, like, these motherfuckers might really try. Then I thought, that's too many black people. You know you ain't making out of that. Like, you can shoot up a white movie with some black people in it. You can't. It'll turn into Wakanda on your ass. You go in a Black Panther film, start busting your gun.
You're not
gonna make it out. You're not gonna make it out.
There's several people in their strap.
Right. So they got some good sense. They got some sense.
They know where not to go. That's why these shootings only take place in certain schools.
And in churches.
Yeah. Wow.
They're not shooting up
really
malls.
Shot church. That pussy ass dinner roof.
He ain't shoot no mall, no plaza, no super. He didn't even go to the supermarket.
White people are the biggest terrorists to this country since they stepped foot on it. So
to the world, colonizers.
Colonizers.
To the world, the world crazy.
Everywhere they go, they colonize and and destroy.
But I mean, you have to
Destroy
break
the native
down
culture.
what terrorism is, and it's preying on the defenseless. It's preying on defenseless environments.
Mhm.
People who are not in a position to defend
Terrorism.
themselves.
See, white
This
men.
this is literally what this is. You can't call it anything else. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta stop doing that shit. You're right. It's terrorism, and white men are the purveyors.
They're never called terrorists, though. It's always a mental health disorder.
But this is a
No,
statistic.
these young children that don't know much, but
Yeah.
Trayvon Martin was supposed to be grown.
A lone gunman. They were
Yeah,
young boys. They're
right.
very innocent.
The statistical
The
fact
second
is
degree
this,
murder.
though, that more Americans have been murdered over the last 30 years, you know, through these types of events by white men
Mhm.
than any other demographic group by far.
But they don't want to hear
By
that.
far. You know, Americans should be worried about the single white male, not anybody else. Literally anybody else.
Yeah, prayers out to everybody that was affected in the Florida shooting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, just really give it up for the kids that spoke out against Rubio, that spoke out on the news cameras, that tweeted to Trump, "We don't need your prayers anymore. We need more than just prayers. You can't pray this situation away." Powerful, brave kids, man.
I call BS.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying, chanting
Mhm.
when that girl was giving her speech. It was very empowering. I'm very proud of them. And it's crazy to me that the Republicans are just totally dismissing them. Like, these kids are future voters. Like, they're going to vote your ass right up out of office. I mean,
Yeah, that's
midterms
why,
are this year, so the seniors are graduating. And then, you got 2 more years. So a lot of these 15-year-olds are going to be eligible to vote when
Come the next election.
comes around. So keep dismissing them if you want to. They are not going to forget. Their memories are not short, and they are very informed. Don't think that they are stupid children. Like, y'all need to be paying attention to them because they're about to start a movement. Do not dismiss them.
Yeah. I agree. We're going to move on from this topic and get into a little bit of Netflix and chill.
Talk about Wayne LaPierre, bitch ass.
Oh, the
I
head of the
see that.
NRA, Wayne
LaPierre.
LaPierre, he actually made a comment about, don't vote Democrat. The Democrats are trying to do this. He's trying to appeal to the kids, I guess, in whatever way. But as we saw that they did with Ricky Rubio, are you going to be taking money from the NRA? A lot of people are looking at the NRA and backing up. What was it, Walmart? What are the businesses? It was a couple.
So Delta Airlines has cut ties with them.
Mhm.
United has. Several of the rental car agencies have, like Avis, National, Alamo, Enterprise, all of them. First National Bank of Omaha, they have several ties with them. There's several businesses that have cut ties with the NRA. They're like, nah, man, we can't keep doing this. They're paying attention to what their customers want. And here's the thing: only about a third of the country owns guns. Like, pay attention to what your people are talking about. The guns are not as popular as they want people to believe.
Oh yeah, I need to have a Black American moment. If you're not Black American, I need you to log off for a second. You can come back in like 30 seconds, really quickly. We need to buy guns.
We do.
We need to own guns. We need to go to the gun range. We need to get our shit together now.
Arm yourselves.
Young man, young woman, sister, brother, it's time.
And learn how to
It's
operate.
time. And get proficient. Get surgical with that motherfucker. All right, the rest of the world, you can come on back. Come on back, rest of the world. We were just talking about the Black Panther movie again. Nothing important. Just not talking about other things. But you heard what I said. So yeah. And moving on now, I guess we're going to Netflix and chill. Well, actually, before we get into Netflix and chill, let's touch on this. A little lighter story. Still kind of not the happiest ending, but it's a lighter story. Tisha Campbell from Martin fame filed for divorce from her husband, Dwayne Martin, who was in like 40 sitcoms in his life. I don't know all of them. But most recently, they were both on Kevin Hart's show, The Real Husbands of Hollywood. So now they're filing for divorce. That shocked me a little bit because they've been together since we was in high school.
20-year marriage.
Yeah, like they. I remember when Martin was accused of touching Tisha or making sexual advances, probably some Me Too shit. But then Q-Tip said, "There you go, teasing me, just like Tisha did Martin." Look at Chicky stop. But I'm just saying, shout out to Q-Tip. But they're divorcing. And I thought they would be together for a while. Like JB, I think he said earlier, it didn't look like a Hollywood wedding.
Mm-hmm.
They've been together forever.
Exactly. And that's tough. You know, who knows what their situation is, Nude. This is one of those relationships that everybody kind of forgot about because it's been around forever, you know? Mm-hmm. So now that it's over, you look at it and say, okay, I mean, I don't want to kind of lump it in because of 20 years. It's not a Hollywood wedding. It's nothing like that. But, like, this is what's happening right now, you know? And, you know, I hope for the best for both of them. But you guys have peeked out some other stuff with the
Reboot.
Yeah.
So they're bringing the Martin show back. They're doing a reboot.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, the show ended because Tisha's sexual harassment allegations against Martin. So the Martin show eventually just ended.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, they got to a point where they would be doing the show and they couldn't be in the same scene.
Mm-hmm.
So it was wild. The last episode, Martin was high as shit. I could tell he smoked the mightiest of the buds because he was zooming on that jump.
Mightiest of the buds.
Yeah, but I'll just say, and that show ended in '97. I don't know what the hell they're gonna talk about now, but I know when Thomas Ford, the character that played Tommy, You Ain't Got No Job, when he died last year,
I think so.
they all got together, of course, and they squashed all their beefs. I mean, it's been 20 years or whatever, so whatever was going on with Martin and Tisha was squashed. They had Instagram pictures together where they hugged up and having fun. And so I'll tune in, I guess. I don't, see what it's about. But I just wish them the best, man, as far as Tisha and Martin. And I'm going to respect their privacy because when me and Ashanti broke up, I asked everybody, I had to ask everybody to respect our privacy. I didn't want to be on the show every week talking about why I'm not with Ashanti anymore and all of that shit. So I'm going to try to respect their privacy as well. You know what I'm saying?
Lord.
Yeah, so,
Whatever, dude.
right.
Why? It's like you guys just totally dismissed that, like it didn't happen in real life.
It didn't happen.
Did you see the video when she was talking about me on the video? You saw?
Nah.
No.
You didn't see it? And she's like, oh, now what? You missed it? You missed it?
Anyway.
Shanti, I still love you.
I'm wondering if this Martin reboot has anything to do with them deciding to get divorced, even though, not to say that would be the one thing to just set it off. But actually, you know what? For all we know, like, she might have had a thing with Martin, and then, like, he went crazy, and then Dwayne was like, oh, you gotta, stop doing the show, save our marriage, blah, 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 right? Cool. So now, Tommy's dead, and then, like, they see each other. What if they, like, end up hooking up? You know what I'm saying? Like, they end up getting together. And it really there was, like, this whole thing that had actually taken place between the two of them. And then Martin, like, caught feelings. And she was like, nah, but I'm over here with him. Whatever. I'm just speculating. I'm over here.
Possible.
Thinking of stories and shit.
And that's your celebrity gossip with Melanie Dion. I mean, it's possible, I guess,
Dwayne was like, no. If you go back and do the show, it's over. That is.
I hear him saying that Kevin Hart voice though. No, don't do the show.
No, don't do the show. It's terrible. But no, I mean, it takes a lot to make you want to leave somebody, especially for 20 years. Like, that's a long ass time.
They in their late 40s.
There ain't nothing wrong with that. Hey.
I mean, shit, JB in his late 40s too.
Whoa. Shade.
No, I'm not. No,
I'm just saying.
No, I'm not.
I know you not.
JB older than his parents.
No, I'm not.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a
So
lie.
yeah, whatever makes you happy. Salute to the both of them.
You're a liar.
Congrats to a new beginning. I know it sucks, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for all my folks that got BET, they released a Death Row Chronicles documentary. For those that know me, I'm a huge Tupac fan, huge Death Row fan. I have done my own research into Death Row and Tupac. Like, I know things that the damn regular public don't know. That's how much I have researched Death Row and Tupac. And I actually met Tupac before, and Suge Knight. I'm like, we call a fan? I guess you call it a fan, super fan? I think I'm a historian of that. Can I call it that?
Obsessed.
Aficionado.
I'm aficionado. Boom. So the documentary was on point with a lot of things. It gave you some behind the scenes stuff that wasn't public knowledge. Suge called in from jail. Corrupt was doing live interviews. There a lot of behind the scenes footage with employees. It's really, really good. It's a 6-part series. It aired last week, but of course it's on BET On Demand now. It was really, really good. Think New Edition movie, but for Death Row. Now, of course, it was a documentary, but what I'm saying is the quality of the documentary, it was as good as the New Edition movie. It was good. It was good. So that's something I would definitely recommend to y'all. As far as for our Netflix and chill segment. And we kind of touched on that a little bit. We're looking at the NBA playoffs. Now, this is a question, Ron. I know you watching the NBA with us and all that good stuff. So chime in. But everybody chime in. The NBA is considering changing the playoff format. Y'all know they changed the All-Star game to where instead of being East versus West, it was the top vote getter, and you could do it through interconference play. So LeBron James was the first pick, took Kevin Durant from the Western Conference, put him on his team, quote unquote Eastern Conference, and then there were Eastern Conference players that was on the Western Conference team, of course. They're thinking about reseeding the playoffs, where it's just the top 16 teams, regardless of conference. All division winners are automatically in, but after that, it's the teams with the best records. I was intrigued at first, but I quickly started to hate the idea. Because one, playoff seeding, it can be the Lakers against the Wizards in the first round, which would mean traveling from LA to DC for the playoffs, back and forth. That's a lot of traveling, a lot of wear and tear on NBA players in the first round. Then in the second round, if the Wizards win, then they got to go to Canada to play the Raptors. And then in the third round, they might have to go back to LA to play the Clippers. It's too much. It needs to be local because it's easier on travel, easier on wear and tear of the players. And it's not that bad. The disparity in the last 15 years, the Western Conference has won 8 championships. The Eastern Conference won 7. So it's not like the Western Conference always wins. The last 2 years, Western Conference won 1, Eastern Conference won 1. Like it's not. I remember when we were kids, the video game that the first NBA Live game that ever came out. What was the name of it, JB? You remember? It was the name of 2 teams.
Was it Lakers versus Celtics?
Right. So the name of the entire NBA's video game was Lakers versus Celtics. Why was that? Because they always played in the finals, kind of like Golden State and Cleveland. So this has happened before. We lived through it. We kind of championed it before. Now everybody's mad. I think they're hating on LeBron because he went to 7 straight finals. Could be 8. They want to put him in the West some kind of way so he can't keep going back because they don't want him to eclipse Jordan or to have his appearances equate to championships. Because if he has 10, 11 straight finals appearances, he kind of got going. Well, he only got 3, 4 rings, but shit, he went 11 straight times. And I think people are worried about that. I think it's a bunch of BS. I say leave it the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not broke. And this is a product that had to bring me back, because I had lost favor with the NBA. So now I've become a newly emerging fan. And that's because of the way things are right now. Because there are 2 dynasties battling out for predominance, and one is in the East and the other is in the West. This is a big deal for us. And if we get rid of that, then I think we get rid of what's making the NBA magical right now, what's bringing the fans in right now. So we can't do that.
Yeah.
Nothing. I really don't have an opinion on this. I don't want to be involved.
You don't want to be involved.
No, I mean, but no. When you first started saying it, I was like, oh, that doesn't sound bad. Maybe they'll just put more of the Eastern teams. But no, it is a bad idea. I agree. And I'm like, how can they make an argument about like Golden State and Cleveland going back to back to back to back when like what's his name, Tom Brady and them go to the Super Bowl and are in the playoffs every fucking year.
There it is.
And nobody gives a shit. Like they've been in the playoffs how many years in a row?
All of them. They missed it one time the year that Tom Brady got hurt, and they still finished with a 10-6 record. They just happened to miss the playoffs, but they still had a great record.
And 10-6, that means your whole division is doing well. For you to miss the playoffs.
At 10-6.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
unbelievable.
the one year they missed it, they were 10-6. Every
Yeah,
other
you
year,
complain about that.
they've been in like 8 straight AFC Championship games.
See what I'm saying?
Like,
Nobody's complaining about that.
mhm.
Nobody's saying let's redistribute the AFC. Is that
Right.
AFC
Yeah,
North?
yeah.
Nobody's saying that. So
Shout out to Mel for knowing about the AFC North.
have no loss.
All right, this is what we're gonna do since Mouth Almighty isn't here tonight. We kind of finishing a little earlier. Shout out to Pandora Alexis. But,
Almighty. Sorry, Lex, that was funny.
I got you.
Yeah, that's real.
Mouth Almighty.
That sounds all wrong, y'all.
Oh shit! Mouth Almighty! Hallelujah!
The queen of
Oh, wow.
freaks. That's what Mel said. That's what Mel said.
And once you not be able to cut that shit off. Happens every fucking time you play that.
Oh man!
And you can cut it off.
Keep
See?
going.
Every time. Every time.
Well, we want to thank y'all for tuning in. Kickback TV,
Word.
live from Atlanta. We will not be doing the show next week.
Y'all
Now
won't
let's
be
be
here.
doing on the road.
We may do it on the road because we're DC. We're coming home.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week. We might do it on the road, patch JBN, and then I would do that.
That actually does not sound like a bad
It's
idea.
not a bad idea. We can do that.
We're gonna see y'all next week on the road. How about that? How about
Back
that?
from our weekend in DC, we're gonna be tired as shit, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, for those of y'all who will be in DMV, come see us at Jasper's next
Boom.
Friday at 7 o'clock.
Friday at 7.
Yeah, the Jasper's in Largo. I don't know if the one in Greenbelt still exists. Does it? Anybody know?
I don't know.
Okay, well,
We'll be
Largo.
the one in Largo.
Yeah, we'll be at the one in Largo, 7 o'clock. So come see us, come visit us, come say hi to your hosts. Everybody gonna be there except JB.
See, like,
Sorry, no shade.
So we getting up out of here. Thank you for tuning in.
Walking Dead comes back on tonight.
Walking Dead come. Sorry, the Wakanda spirit takes over me sometimes.
And we gotta shout out Okoye, Michelle.
Oh yeah, Michonne
Deny her.
played Okoye in the movie, and
Grace Jones looking.
Grace Jones looking picture.
and she got cheeks. I didn't know Michonne from Walking Dead had cheeks. There's with the love affair of this movie, there are pictures of everybody. They've all doing little skits and little videos together and tweeting each other. And that's why it's probably going to be the top selling movie in the history of movies. But one picture of her showed in this very sexy dress. It was a side shot. And the this side it looked like this. I was like, oh, well, I had no idea.
Oh,
I
side
had no
note.
idea.
If y'all can, look at some of the interviews that Ryan Coogler did about the movie. Like, he talks about the fight scenes and how they were all put together and stuff like that, and just how powerful it was seeing everybody in full costume and what that experience was like. And it's beautiful. Just all the research and stuff that went into him creating the movie and what he was trying to get across the screen and wanted other little black kids to see. Just see it. Do your research. I've been, fully engrossed in everything Wakanda. So watch some YouTube videos, y'all.
What's the junk that I posted for the people that's kind of like Wakanda. It was Wakanda, and it was about light skinned people. No offense, Gilman, but it was like Beyonce was drinking. Beyonce was the president or some shit. If you read the comments, I posted it. I'm gonna put it in the kickback group. I'm gonna put it in the kickback group. But it's so crazy, y'all. And it was like it was called Wakanda. And it was about people that was light skinned that they could make.
Cut his mic off.
And then they got to jump for the Wakanda band list. People that can't go. Kelly can't go. I think JB can't go. It was a couple people that aren't invited to Wakanda for different reasons. But you got to check out all
JB
the Facebook.
can't go?
I didn't make the list. I just read that he's on it. I didn't make it.
Wow.
Damn, like you did.
Yeah, I posted. You can read it. I didn't make the list.
You said JB Frank can't go?
Yeah. Yes. Literally. Well, man, thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. We about to get up out of here. Any last words?
No. Just go see Black Panther. Go see it again. I've seen it 4 times.
Go see it with the colonizer.